More than 400 years ago, the greatest empire in the world, Valyria, disappeared from the face of the earth, taking with it the civilization, the dragons, and all other forms of life that existed in the region. Despite several centuries passing, no one dares return to those cursed lands. The proud cities of the Freehold collapsed into ruins, the sea filled with ash and smoke, and the towering volcanoes known as the 14 Flames have continued to burn ever since. The ruins only attract bold adventurers and greedy treasure hunters hoping to recover Valyrian steel or some unimaginable wealth, but very few have ever returned. Those who survive to retell the stories only have traumatic events to share, talking about horrifying monstrosities unlike anything found anywhere else in the world. Many came back injured, driven mad, or carrying greyscale, a disease so feared that entire settlements exiled anyone infected. All the rumors about Old Valyria tell remarkably the same stories, despite coming from different places and different generations. Massive beasts move beneath the smoking sea, enormous fireworms tunnel through the volcanic earth, and wild dragons rule the skies. George R.R. Martin has deliberately left much of Old Valyria shrouded in mystery, allowing legends to paint a picture of a land that remains as terrifying today as it was on the day the Doom destroyed it. But in today's video, we're going to see the 5 known horrors that are still believed to haunt Old Valyria. First on the list are the dragons. After the Doom destroyed the Valyrian Freehold, thousands of dragons are believed to have died alongside their riders. A small number, however, escaped the catastrophe and remained within the smoking ruins. With no dragon lords left to command them, these creatures returned to the wild and continued living on their own for centuries. They nested among the volcanoes of the 14 Flames, hunted across the ruined peninsula, and multiplied without any human control. Every generation became more isolated, creating a population of dragons that answered to no one. Historical accounts strongly suggest that wild dragons still inhabit Old Valyria. One example of this can be seen during the famous voyage of Arya Targaryen's dragon Valyrian the Black Dread. After returning from its journey across the smoking seas, Valyrian returned with deep gashes and torn flesh, implying that something even stronger than itself had attacked it inside Valyria. Whatever inflicted those wounds possessed enough strength to challenge a fully grown dragon that had conquered kingdoms during Aegon's conquest. Sailors also report seeing enormous dragons circling the smoking mountains or flying through clouds of ash before disappearing back into the ruins. These sightings are rare, but they have persisted for centuries. The dangerous landscape provides an ideal sanctuary, where humans almost never venture, allowing dragons to thrive without disturbance. George R.R. Martin has never confirmed exactly how many dragons remain in Old Valyria, but the evidence scattered throughout the books is bone-chilling. Next on the list are the Fireworms, which are among the oldest and most terrifying creatures ever mentioned in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. Ancient Valyrian records describe them as gigantic worms that spend their entire lives beneath the earth, carving tunnels through solid rock with bodies so intensely hot that they can melt stone around them. Unlike dragons, fireworms have no wings and no need to fly. Their domain lies deep below the surface, inside the volcanic heart of the 14 Flames, where temperatures are high enough to kill almost any other living creature. Very little is known about their appearance, because almost no one has survived a close encounter. Legends claim that the largest fireworms can grow to enormous lengths, with jaws lined by rows of razor-sharp teeth, capable of tearing through rock as easily as flesh. Some stories even describe them as blind, relying on heat and vibrations to detect anything moving through their underground tunnels. The creatures are closely connected to the history of Valyria itself. The Dragon Lords built their empire around the 14 Flames, where they mined precious metals and forged the legendary Valyrian steel. Some believe that the Valyrians must have dug too deeply into the volcanic mountains and disturbed the fireworms that live below. Others suggested the creatures had already existed alongside the volcanoes and simply survived the doom that wiped out nearly every other form of life. One of the strongest pieces of evidence comes from Princess Arya's horrifying return from Valyria. According to Yennefer's account in Fire and Blood, strange worm-like parasites with burning bodies emerged from inside her before dying in the cold. Their exact nature remains unknown, but many believe they were young fireworms. Whether that theory is true or not, it reinforces one terrifying possibility: that the depths beneath Old Valyria are still alive with things that should never reach the surface. The third creature haunting Old Valyria are the Stone Men, who used to be ordinary people in the past, which is what makes them so terrifying. They are victims of greyscale, a mysterious and fatal disease that slowly transforms flesh into hard, cracked stone. The infection usually begins with small patches of gray, rough skin, before spreading across the body over months or years. As the disease advances, joints stiffen, skin loses all sensation, and victims gradually lose their memories, personalities, and ability to think clearly. In its final stages, only violent instinct remains. Stonemen are most commonly found along the ruins of the Rhoyne, particularly around the Sorrows, but reports suggest they also wander the outskirts of Old Valyria itself. Anyone who comes into physical contact with them risks contracting greyscale, making even the smallest scratch or touch potentially life-changing. This constant danger forces sailors and explorers to keep their distance whenever they spot human figures wandering the abandoned shores. Many believe greyscale has deep connections to the doom of Valyria. Some legends claim that the disease spread through blood magic practiced by the Valyrians, while others describe it as a curse unleashed when the Freehold collapsed. George R.R. Martin has never confirmed its true origin, leaving the mystery unresolved. The Stonemen add a uniquely tragic element to the horrors of Valyria, because every one of them was once a normal person with a family, a name, and a life. Their bodies continue walking long after their minds have disappeared, creating endless bands of silent, crumbling figures that roam the cursed lands. For anyone exploring the ruins, a single accidental touch can turn the search for treasure into a slow, terrifying death sentence. At number 4, we have the mysterious monsters of the Smoking Sea lurking in the depths surrounding Old Valyria. The surface of the sea is always covered with a thick layer of ash clouds and volcanic gases that make navigation incredibly challenging, but sailors have long insisted that the sea itself hides something far more terrifying. For centuries, pirates and fishermen have reported seeing enormous shapes moving beneath the surface, often following ships before disappearing into the dark water. The stories come from different generations and different cultures, yet they all describe creatures far larger than any whale or sea creature known to exist. Very few eyewitnesses provide detailed descriptions because encounters rarely last more than a few moments. Some claim they saw massive serpentine bodies coiling beneath the waves. Others describe gigantic fins breaking the surface, or long necks rising briefly above the water before vanishing into the mist. Several reports mention unnatural screams echoing across the sea at night, while others mention ships suddenly disappearing without leaving wreckage or survivors behind. The book never identifies these creatures, and George R.R. Martin deliberately leaves their existence uncertain. The lack of confirmation has only made the mystery more compelling. The Smoking Sea is surrounded by the ruins of an empire built on blood magic, dragons, and ancient sorcery, making almost any possibility seem believable. Strange marine life could have evolved in complete isolation after the Doom, while magical creatures from Valyria's past may still survive beneath the poisoned waters. Whether the monsters are ancient sea serpents, unknown magical beasts, or something never given a name, the Smoking Sea has claimed countless ships over the centuries, and almost none of their crews have ever been seen again. Finally, at number 5 are sinister entities of Valyria that no one has ever been able to identify. Sailors, explorers, and a few survivors who escaped the ruins have described strange figures moving through the shadows that seem to watch from collapsed towers, and creatures wandering the broken streets of the ancient Freehold. These stories vary in detail, but they all share the same unsettling theme, that something still lives among the ruins. One of the most famous accounts comes from Fire and Blood, when Princess Arya Targaryen mysteriously disappeared on Balerion the Black Dread. She returned nearly a year later in a horrifying condition, burned from the inside and infested with strange, heat-loving creatures that burst from her body before dying in the cold. Other tales speak of twisted humanoid figures, glowing eyes watching through volcanic ash, and voices echoing across empty streets where no living people remain. Some people believe these are the restless spirits of the Valyrians, trapped by the same blood magic that helped build their empire. Others suspect they are magical experiments that survived the Doom, or ancient creatures that lived beneath Valyria long before the Dragon Lords arrived. George R.R. Martin has never revealed the truth, preserving Old Valyria as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of his world. Every unanswered question adds another layer to its terrifying reputation. More than 4 centuries after the Doom, Old Valyria remains one of the few places in the world that almost nobody is willing to explore. Powerful kingdoms have risen and fallen since the Freehold disappeared, yet the smoking ruins continue to stand untouched. Wild dragons, fireworms, stonemen, sea monsters, and unexplained beings all occupy a strange space between history and myth. None have been fully confirmed, yet none have ever been completely dismissed either. That uncertainty is what makes Old Valyria so fascinating. Every unanswered question makes the ruins feel larger, darker, and more dangerous. As long as the secrets of Valyria remain buried beneath fire, smoke, and ruined stone, it will continue to be the most mysterious location in the world of A Song of Ice and Fire. I hope you had a blast exploring some of the creepiest creatures that are rumored to inhabit Old Valyria. Which one are you most interested in seeing on screen? Do you think they should make a series venturing deeper into Old Valyria? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you'd like to watch similar videos with even crazier concepts, make sure to click the link that's appearing on your screen. Go ahead, click it!